Hmm. Hello. So, as I get settled in, yes, things will go live at some point, but right now, this is what works for all the feels that I have today going on. I'm also debating, I really want to get into getting back into physical practice and sharing that with all of you. And it's reworking and getting comfortable in the space and with the camera and what have you. So, it's a Monday. I feel like I could call today like a I don't like negative things, but the first thing that popped in my head this morning was a midday meltdown because I came into work in this space right about midday, and it was just like, just sometimes Mondays and midday meltdown, Monday meltdown are a thing, and then things branch off through the week. But we're going to keep things positive, and we are going to jump back into a practice that has been at least much needed, I think, for not just me, but a lot of people. I would come on, I do a lot of restorative yoga. We do morning yin yoga, and that was probably the best. And it was easier. I was in a different space, a different time. I would literally get out of my bed, fall into place. Not so much what happens now. Now it involves getting into the car, grabbing everything I need, packing my stuff, having a snack with me, and then getting into this space, watering the planets, watering the plants, tending to my plant babies, being a good plant mom, checking on stuff. I like to organize things. I'm always organizing things, as I believe we are as one of the creatures that we surround ourselves with. I have a hamster. He likes to organize things, as do I. It's a hamster living life thing. And getting cozy. I'm always pulling things out, going through, putting them back in, and sometimes it's just have to stop. So I'm gonna hope that this goes well with. I'm gonna post on YouTube, and then we're gonna see if it doesn't work with the Instagram. Then I will go back to being live. But I feel like I'm taken away from the YouTube sometimes when I have that little screen, and you can't see it so much in YouTube. You can kind of blow things up, as they go. So we're just gonna settle in today for a little yin yoga. Won't be anything too crazy. If you would love to join me for some live events, I have tons of live events going on. I'm on a little East Coast, Midwest tour I got going on through the weekends, and I'll be connecting with some other places as time goes on. But this was the most important thing I wanted to get done, among all things that are important. But we're just going to start a nice, easy seated pose, and you can close your eyes or have a hazy gaze. I will explain things to the point where you may not even have to look at the camera, at the TV, at whatever you're watching this on, your phone, or just listening and falling into place. So, yin yoga is not only about opening up the body, stretching, getting deep into the fascia, and relaxing, if you can, in some of these poses, but it's also about emotions and a lot of lower body, and things get stuck and caught between our hips, our thighs, our groin, our legs, and getting these emotions out, spreading them out. And I did a podcast earlier talking about that maintenance, self maintenance, and even with yoga, with Reiki, with wellness, with diets, with life, we need and should encourage maintenance. I don't like to say need. I don't want people to feel like they need absolutely, we do need water and food though. But with these types of things, it's just being proactive and connecting with self. So we're gonna start, like I said, this isn't anything too crazy. Just get nice and cozy. Well, we might be opposite. That's okay. We're going to start with taking that right leg out nice and wide. Yin yoga is really nice and slow. It's about deep stretch, finding comfort. I was going to time it. You can time it. We're just going to feel it out today. I'm going to have that left leg inside, that left foot touching inside the right thigh, that right leg nice and wide open. You could even do this on the wall if you would like, where you would have, your sit bones connected to floor and your legs on the wall, up to you. But I'm going to do it on the floor today. I'm just going to take a nice deep breath, get cozy in our spots. When you're ready, we'll take our arms out wide for a nice deep stretch. Inhale up. Exhale, palms come together, down to heart. And back again. And there are many ways you could take this stretch. We're going to take ours down through center. And again. We're just going to do three nice poses for the day. You're going to take those arms through center. Inhale and exhale as you walk the arms forward. You can let your body just kind of naturally adjust. Maybe it wants to go off to the left side. Maybe you're feeling tight and need to motivate and get the body back down center. You want to feel that right leg opening into that thigh, that left foot connected. The arms then can just kind of relax and move out. You can take a deeper stretch. You could always pull them in. We're really focusing on that lower body here and that center, the hips. Yin Yoga is really good if you haven't worked out yet. As we keep breathing, you're going to maybe want to allow that body start to fall a little bit more towards the right. Maybe taking your right hand and attaching it towards right leg or the inside of right foot. Or maybe over the toes. And then you're going to kind of circle around towards the right leg, lifting back up to posture, taking a little wiggle, a little sway, whatever you need. I feel very off kilter today, but had some things happen yesterday, so probably why. It's my podcast. It was a nice little car accident yesterday, so my body is really feeling that draw towards the left side, but we'll get there. I'm just going to go ahead and take the arms through center on an inhale, raise them up, exhale, take a twist over your right leg, and exhale over that right leg. Adjust the arms as you need. I guess I shouldn't say three poses. I guess I should say, well, technically it's still the same pose. I've been feeling a little rushy and rough in my practice, which I think is also why I kind of got away from it on social for a little bit. Just take another few deep breaths. It can be yin. You feel like you definitely have to like work back up to it because you want to be able to just soften and allow the body to open, maybe within 1 to 3 minutes or so of each pose, allowing the body to really widen in. But we can always start at about 30 seconds or so, maybe with each pose, deep breaths, until the body gets used to settling down again into place and practice, and the mind slows down and understands that it doesn't need to rush. Once again, we'll slowly start to come back up through center. We're going to switch sides. We're going to take that right leg into the left thigh. That left leg's going to extend, and my body's going to be really happy because it is not a happy camper today. With yesterday's stuff that went on. I'm going to go again. We're going to go ahead and inhaling, just kind of walk those hands through center. Notice my body, it aligns easier with the left side than the right. So your body may react differently to each pose. Like my arms love to extend a little bit further this time. So you may notice some different feels and vibes as you fall into the left side now. So you're going to just kind of creep down that middle. That left leg extended. The feet can be relaxed or flexed. And here you want to start to feel that once again, that inside of that thigh opening up from that extended leg. The arms can adjust as needed. You can keep them nice and long. You can bring them in a little bit. You're really focusing on, it's just depending on how active. If you want to just focus on that leg, and then you can bring that stretch through the upper body, you're going to extend and lengthen through those arms. If you're just focused on that leg, though, those arms are going to come in a little bit more. And Yin Yoga is great. You don't have to have a mat. You really don't have to have a mat anytime. It's up to you, but it's a nice little comfort piece for grounding. But if you're outside in the grass or at home on carpet, on a blanket, I put my blanket on. That's fine too. I'm going to start to kind of roll towards the left side body as you start to roll and cruise back towards center. Left side definitely is where it's at for me today. Hopefully you can figure out what your body's calling. This time we're just going to creep those arms up towards the sky, inhaling, exhaling, taking a twist over that extended left leg and fall forward. And adjust your body as you need it. Maybe your hands go back inside. Maybe there's a hand line outside of the leg and the other inside. Maybe your hands wrap around those feet and you fall forward. You're going to start to welcome that stretch through the left leg, but that stretch also through the right upper body. Adjust what you need. Fall into those deep breaths. Adjust what you need. I'm going to go ahead, take another deep breath. You're going to gently start to raise it. So we're just going to keep it a little short today. As we come in, the mind starts to get used to this yin practice. As we go in through the weeks, it'll get good. So we'll do Yin Yoga Mondays, and we'll do a gentle flow later in the week. Probably Thursdays or Fridays. I don't know 100% yet. We're going to bring both those legs back into center. You can bring those knees gently up to chest. Those hands can fall back behind you. Just do a little couple windshield wipers here just to really open up the body for a minute. Let things kind of move through. I know I could feel some new sensations just in that short time on each side. About the body is feeling wild. It's fun to like get away from practice of it. I mean, not that I won't teach, I'm still teaching, but to get away from my own self practice and then to come back with all of you, it's interesting to see how the body feels. Every day is different. I'm sure you all have heard yoga teachers say that before, but it really does change daily. And if I haven't been, in your self practice, it's different than guiding a class because you really want to get deep in that practice. So even teaching online, it's different because we want to. For me, for my own personal preference, like to go as deep as with you all. But as we keep going through the weeks, it'll get cool. I hope they're better. So we're gonna go back into yin. You can take those legs out to side. We're gonna come up on the knees for a little bit and just on your cover or mat or whatever have you. You can keep your thighs mat, your knees hip width apart, or if you like to go deep, I like to go deeper. I like to take my knees about mat width apart, and then just come back and sit with my tail connected to my heels. My feet are flat behind me. Just take that breath for a moment, for a minute. And then when ready, we'll crawl those arms out once again. Inhaling and crawl, exhaling, extending, feeling the body. You have options here. You can keep those arms nice and long, extended. You can pull those arms aligning on top of one another. You could have a block under the head, or you could have it under belly or blanket or pillow. You could start here, or if you like said you want to get that long stretch through the entire body, this is also going to open up through the center, through the hips. So you could also usually have our big toes touching. You want to think about keeping that tail connected to the heel. So you're going to feel that back body pulling back towards your feet as your arms going to lengthen and extend, your forehead coming down in between in the center, forehead connecting to mat. I know just a few months ago, I couldn't even, a few years ago, I didn't think about my tail connecting to the heels. Now it's like, oh, normal. Don't even think about it. So still like maintenance. Still got to check in there, but just to make sure. Oh, that right side is feeling yesterday's occurrences. That's all right. Deep breaths. Everything will move out that needs to move out of the body. Deep breathing. If it feels uncomfortable, you could always sway and adjust. You could always bring those knees in alignment with hips to Balasana, baby child's pose. This is still going to open up that lower body as that tail wants to connect with the heels. The toes are flat. You're going to feel that opening out. You could even take the knees wider if you feel comfortable too. Getting a little bit wider each time. Still allowing that tail to connect with heels. And take those legs out wider and then just reposition, whether you raise up and take them out wider or you stay connected and allow that tail to drop down even in between as those toes are still connected behind you and fall forward. You still have those arms extended nice and long, or you can bring them in. Really focusing on the lower body here, and then the upper body is an extension of that. But I know for me, with after yesterday, my upper body is like not cooperating, so we're going to focus mainly on the lower. So deep opening through that center, through that groin, through that tail. Tail connected to heels. Toes connected to floor. My toes are facing each other, but they don't want to connect now because I went a little wider. It's just a natural occurrence. All our bodies are different. And my deep breaths. Deep stretch. You want to stretch, not strain though. If you don't want to go wider, that's fine. You want to stretch. You don't want to strain or pull anything. And I said, even with the upper body, if you need to bring the hands in, that's fine. Focusing on that lower body. That's the one thing with yin. Also, yin and restorative can be so interchangeable sometimes. I had a little restorative with the head, forearms, and the lower body still getting that deep stretch. A few more deep breaths. You can even prep for your dolphin by just being on the forearms. That's another nice one. Working on getting that connection between your forearms, bringing those arms in line and with the shoulders. That's a nice way to balance out the body also. Working the lower and the upper body. Could always go into some thread the needles though too. A few more breaths. And then when you're ready, you can gently start to allow the hands to come back up to center to help you come back into center and release. Easing the legs back into alignment and center. You could go up on all fours for a moment, take a little sway from side to side. Like I said, you're more than welcome to get like a nice little stretch and thread the needle upon one shoulder if that feels good. You could stay there as long as you like, and then you just take it to the other side, threading the needle, shoulder stretch to balance out anything that you need. You could stay there for a moment. You could stay there for a few breaths. You could stay there for a few minutes. I am going to stay away from stretching out my upper body a little bit deeper this today, just because it's still in a little bit of healing after yesterday, but that's okay. As we go back into practice through the week, it'll get better. So we're going to come back being gentle with the body, allowing ourselves to come back into easy seated pose. Just coming up in either way that suits your body, whether you go through that little sway on the tabletop position or cat dog prep, or you take a moment for yourself to do a little shoulder stretch if you're feeling imbalanced. You want to make sure that you can come back into balance and center. And then we're just going to come back to easy seated pose and take a few breaths. This is just to get us back into that yin flow, just to welcome everybody back. Everyone can feel nice and tight. You can always keep those legs out ahead of you if you're feeling, a little some kind of way. I'm just here to guide you. This is your practice. So if you want to come back to easy seated, you're more than welcome to take it out. It's up to you. And then you have that option, like I said, to go into that thread the needle. I'm going to stay away from that. But what is calling me is a little bit of a nice little spinal twist, which is something that you can also get into. But I just wanted to start with you a little something light, a little something to get us introduced back into the week. And just that alone can help really to move out anything that needs to be let go. So this is our little 3 move, 3 pose, whatever you have it call you, yin practice for the day. Because that nice recovery pose in Balasana and Child's Pose helps to move that energy out through breath also and allows us to ground and center. So I hope that you find, it's just nice to take this time, these moments to connect with one another and through the day. As you can see, I still feel a little frazzled after yesterday, but just take a little time to connect and check in with one another and get a little practice going. And like I said there, check out some other videos if you want to dive deeper in yin. Then you can definitely go through on the YouTube playlist. I have a lot of restorative. I did tons of restorative last year. A little yin. There's some yin on the Instagram. Kamita Smiles on the Instagram. Otherwise, we're going to dive deeper and everything will feel a little bit more balanced out as the days drift away from yesterday. If you're like, what is she talking about? A little car accident yesterday, but we're here getting all back in lines. It's just funny how those things have their timing. So I want to thank you for clocking in today. Release some new things too on the website. If you've never gone onto my website, take a moment to check it out. It's curvytosmiles.com. Everything's Curvy to Smiles. You can find it. But thanks so much for tuning in. Like I said, we'll get some live stuff going soon. And we do a deeper dive on the podcast that I just got going today. You can catch that on the website under the media and sounds. And Wednesdays live on YouTube, we'll dive deeper into that same conversation and just kind of keep this theme going of this week accidents or awakenings and awareness. So we'll see how that stuff goes. Thanks for tuning in.